Hey there, StarCraft fans. It's Falcon Paladin coming at ya with yet another edition of StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void. And for your Into the Void Friday, it's going to be deFragNZ versus Caboose here on Simulacrum. Bottom right-hand corner, it is the red Zerg player Caboose, who's not moving his Overlord. There we go, he is now. And in the top left-hand corner, it is the blue Terran player deFragNZ, which I think is New Zealand. We'll just call him deFrag and deFrag New Zealand for official reasons, right? Like your mom calling you by your full name? Yeah. I think most people have had that experience. Alright, so TVZ here on Simulacrum. If you want me to cast your bronze or silver or gold level replay, send it to me at falconpaladin@gmail.com with the subject of Into the Void. And we'll see what we can get done. Don't get a lot of submissions for these, so your odds of getting cast are pretty good, y'all. Just for whatever reason, I'm not sure if that part of the player base is shrinking. There just aren't as many people in bronze and silver anymore, or if it indicates something else is going on. But I don't know. I like the thought of people getting better at the game, and maybe fewer people coming in who are noobs. But I'm not sure if that's happening at all, to tell you the truth. So SCV hiding a bit as he's going for the one Rax expand, perhaps expecting a pool first play here, but no. Caboose went for the hatch. He's the end of the pool here, no gas. So the pool at about 19 supply, which means he should have got a gas at 18 and then in 17 gone for the pool. But at this stage, build orders are not nearly as important as other things, like constantly injecting if you're Caboose, like always making stuff, like always making drones and overlords, and then just making a ton of army with all of the larvae you have because you're injecting a lot and all the supply you have because you have a ton of overlords, and winning the game. Are we making a Reaper? Nah, we're too afraid. We're too afraid to make Reapers here, even building on the high ground here. He has died to an early pool before. That's what this is. This SCV is like, where are they? I know there are Zerglings out. Everybody goes pool first here at this level in bronze. Whoa, second gas from Caboose. All right, Caboose, what are you up to here? What? Okay, are you going to saturate that second gas? Okay, pro tips, numbered whatever from Falcon. I made a whole bunch at the beginning, but basically, if you're going to make an extractor, saturate it. If you make an extractor and don't saturate it, as a Zerg player especially, you just wasted a drone for no good reason at all. Not even bad reasons, just no reason. You'll notice Frag on the other side of the map here is, there you go, saturating his refinery, making another refinery. We'll see if he saturates that one there too. Additionally, if you're going to make a second gas as a Zerg this early, there you go. You better make a Roach Warren. You better make something that needs that much gas. Baling Nest does not need that much gas. One extractor is fine for Balings and Zerglings. If you want 2 gas saturation, there you go. Roach Warren. Roaches are expensive for gas. Ravagers are expensive for gas on that upgrade. And he is now finally saturating his second extractor. It's just a little bit late. If you didn't want to saturate it until then don't make the extractor till then. And if you did want it that early, then saturate it as soon as it pops. Timings are everything in StarCraft. Barracks, factory here from deFrag. deFrag I don't have as much to complain about here, to be honest. He went for a 1 Rax expand. He's not harassing with a Reaper, which I can't necessarily kill him for. He's also not landing his natural base, which he should have done some time ago here. There we go, landing it in the right spot, right on top of that yellow. That's how you know where it's the good place to land. Caboose here either needs to go for about a 2-base timing attack with a bunch of Roaches and Ravagers, or go for a 3rd base. I think those are your options right now, Caboose, and he's just not doing either one of those. No 3rd base coming up at all at the 3.5 minute mark. If your opponent's going for a 1 Rax expand, you can get a 3rd base up at about 3:30 and not have any problems with it. You can get up sooner than that if you want, but that requires a little bit better timing, a little bit crisper timing than I think maybe you have, Caboose. And that's okay. And again, that's stuff that you can improve on, is just getting your build order timing down. Go to LOTV.spawningtool.com and they will give you a build order that outlines exactly when to build everything for the first like 6 or 7 minutes of the game. What supply to build everything. It's down here for us on the replay, but it's up there on the right for you. 2 additional extractors here, which you don't want to get like 3rd, 4th, and 5th gases traditionally until you're about 40 to 45 workers, maybe even more than that. If you get it before then, your drones on the gas are not getting minerals, your mineral count's going to suffer, and you're not going to have as many drones as you want naturally. Now, additionally, if you're going to get a lair, make something with that lair. There's nothing here right now that requires lair. If you're going maybe for bailing speed, sure, that would require a lair. If you're going for a spire or an infestation pit or a lurker den or something, or a hydralisk den, that's all lair stuff too. But as it stands, there's nothing here. There's nothing to indicate why you went for a lair. You're making 9 roaches for no reason, and this hurts you. Zerg is kind of an unforgiving race that way. Making army units when you don't need them hurts you immensely. Terran, Protoss, they can make stuff. they can make army units and still be making SCVs. Because, see, their buildings that make SCVs only make SCVs. Your buildings that make drones make everything else, too. I know it's weird. I know it's a weird concept to get your head around, but knowing when to make attacking units versus when to make drones is one of the most important things a Zerg player can learn, if not the most important thing. Infestation Pit on the way, so he is using the hive for something, or the lair for something. He's moving out with his roaches with Gleeo Reconstitution on the way. If you're going to move out with them, start Gleeo Reconstitution before you decide to move them out. Maybe like a little bit before you decide to move them out, so they're faster. And also, if you're going to do these roaches, make Ravagers. You have the resources for Ravagers down here. I can see it. You have the available supply because you made about 8 Overlords a second ago, which not ideal to make 8 Overlords at the same time, but it's better than not making Overlords at all, so I will let it go. deFrag kind of stopped on the SCV production. He's at 34, which is not great. He's fully saturated in his main, but his natural, kind of like Caboose's natural, is not fully saturated at this moment in time. Also, guess who's going Battle Cruiser all of a sudden? I was like, you're just doing standard stuff here, aren't you? No, that's a tech lab hiding under that medevac, and we're looking at Marine Tank Battle Cruiser. Seems fairly hard to deal with if you're Caboose. Is he waiting for Gleeo Reconstitution? Oh, there we go, making some Ravagers. You've watched professional StarCraft. You know how good Ravagers are and how much better they are than Roaches in pretty much every capacity. They're more expensive, but they are so much better. It is worth the cost. Caboose finally taking a third at about 6 minutes, which is just too late. deFrag doesn't have a third base either, which again is too late. He's starting it now. Could be worse. Overlord scouts in, sees a bunch of missile turrets, a bit of a turtley play here from deFrag, but at the same time, you know what will kind of wreck this is like 10 Mutalisks. Like 10 Mutas. Fly in, kill this stuff. I guess the battle cruiser's a concern, though. Mutas don't kill BCs very fast. Corrosive Vials trying to take down that turret, I guess. I don't really feel that's a priority. Actually gets a Marine with the Corrosive Vial. That's the good thing about Corrosive Vials at lower levels is they actually connect sometimes on stuff that can move. At the pro levels, Corrosive Vial only ever hits like stationary stuff, like tanks, Liberators that are hanging out. It's so rare to see Corrosive Vial hit a Marine or a Marauder, unless it's like a million other things going on and the Terran is retreating from something anyway, and getting hit by the Corrosive Vial is less bad than whatever that was. Corrosive Vial's down the battle cruiser pretty well. That was not bad. That BC is down to 100 and something HP, getting repaired by that SCV though, and Caboose decides that it's time to head on home. Another pro tip here for Caboose: make drones while you're attacking. Make drones while you're attacking, because your opponent is not going to come try to kill you while you're attacking him. He is too busy worrying about defense. There should be a ton of drones here. We're looking at, okay, there we go. That's your problem, is 3 larvae. Do you not, I just realized, do you not have a queen at your natural? Caboose never made a queen at his natural. Okay. Maybe he did. Maybe she's up here. He hasn't injected for a while, though. Oh, yes. Come back. Come back and inject, queen. Do it. Yes, did it. All right. Good, good, good. Good, good, good. Hydralisk Den coming in. Hydra's not the traditional answer for battle cruisers. What you're going to want there is Aspire and make some Corruptors. Corruptors have the bonus damage versus flying massive stuff, which a battle cruiser is, which a carrier is, what a mothership is, which a Broodlord is. Corruptors are good against those particular units. They're good against other stuff too, but they're definitely built for the big flying things is where they live. Is deFrag working on SCVs? Not really. None in the production tab. It's at 41 workers at 8.5 minutes. And that's the thing. At this level of StarCraft, you're going to have people complain about balance, right? And have people complain about, well, that's not fair, or why is this unit bad, or why is that one so overpowered? Really, if you had a maxed out army of Roaches, Caboose, you would just win. There's nothing here that can stop 200 supply of Roaches. There's 2 tanks and a handful of Marines and a battle cruiser. That's not enough. And on the other side, deFrag here, if you had a 200 supply of Marines and tanks, that would wipe out what this is too. I love the Infestors from Caboose, though. We do not usually see Spellcasters when it comes to the lower levels, and I'm kind of in through all the house is going to work. Oh, hang on. He's trying to chain fungal them, but I think he threw all of his fungals out at the same time. So their Infestors are all going to die. Pro tip, they don't stack. If you're going to throw out chain fungals, wait for the first one to end and then throw another one down. Although all the Marines and all the tanks are dead, it's just your battle cruisers are a problem. I love that he's getting Neural Parasite too. What absolute confidence he has in his abilities to take care of those battle cruisers with spells. I like what Caboose is doing here. The problem is he's out of Infestors. He has no Infestors at all, which worries me immensely in his ability to win this game. The good news for him is deFrag is not expanding. deFrag is not... Oh, hang on. He's just started making SCVs. He just started making SCVs. He's rebuilding his wall, which is pretty smart here. He is oversaturated in his main base with SCVs because he hasn't been expanding. If you're at 10 minutes on 2 bases, you're doing something wrong. Caboose, you too. If you're on 3 bases in 10 minutes, you're doing something wrong. You need a 4th and probably a 5th. You can afford it too. If you're floating over 1,000 minerals, expand a couple times. If you're a Zerg player, it's not going to hurt you. Terran as well. Honestly, if you're floating 900 minerals, go throw it down to command center somewhere, upgrade it to a planetary fortress, maybe build a turret and call it good. You don't really have to worry about massive hits coming into your expansions all that much at this level. Anyway, the creep spread is not horrible from Caboose. At least it's connecting most of his bases, which is the goal, right? Your base goal is that all your bases are connected by creep. After that, you want to start pushing across the map and seeing if you can make a creep highway, because just being faster is better, having vision is better. You know how it works. Spire on the way. There we go. Making a Spire for some Corruptors. Probably Hive coming in here too from Caboose. Making 11 drones at a time. Loving that. Really enjoying the 11 drones at a time play here. Working on Thors. Working on that Night Cheese. Blah, blah, blah. High-sec auto tracking. Vehicle weapons on the way here too. I like that there are upgrades across the board right now from deFrag doing that well, but again, at 46 workers and 2 bases at 11 minutes, you're just not going to have a big army. I like what you have. I do like what you have. Battle Cruiser, Marauder, Marine is kind of weird, but, you know, unorthodox works against lower level players who've never seen anything like this before, you know what I mean? So we're going to go Mass Hydralisk. If you're going to go Hydras, get some Banelings in there just because Marines and Marauders trade really well versus Hydras, but if you have the Banelings, suddenly the trade goes a lot better for you. Are these Broodlord skin Hydras? I think they are. Those are hot. Those are pretty good stuff. Man, I love the Hydra in Brood War. It's just a staple of 2 of the matchups anyway. You never ever see them in ZVZ all that much. If you make Hydras in a ZVZ in Brood War, you've pretty much lost the game, is what I've learned from watching ZVZ Brood War games. Anywho, +2 air weapons on the way from deFrag. Love those upgrades. 7 Mutalisks on the way. Okay, Caboose, pro tip number 8. If there are Thors and battle cruisers, do not make Mutalisks, especially with Marines on the ground to assist. That's a lot of Marines. That's the Thor who's doing splash damage by default to you in the sky. I don't like the Mutalisks in the situation at all. There was a time they might have worked out, but that time is past. What you need are Corruptors. You need Corruptors to handle these battle cruisers. I gotta say, I think deFrag has this game won. I know it's early. I know we're pretty even here. Caboose even has a bigger supply of everything. More workers, more army. But composition does matter to a certain extent here. Also, he's not maxed out. Like a maxed out Hydralisk army, I kind of feel like can wreck this, but he doesn't quite have that yet. Also, upgrades are good. So 3rd base for deFrag is done, and that hurts deFrag. I know I just said I think deFrag's going to win this game, but he just lost his 3rd base at 12 minutes. He is basically mined out of his main. His natural's oversaturated and going to get worse from here on. And that's going to be it. So, ooh, Swarm Host from Caboose. Another unit that is overpowered at the lower levels is getting Swarm Host. It's so hard to handle if you're bronze or silver or gold, I can tell you that much. So let's see if he uses those well. 11 more Overlords on the way, which is too many. If you're at 176 supply, 11 Overlords is too much. Make like 5 or 6 and call it a good day. I mean, at least you'll never get supply blocked again. That's good. Tacking in with Roach Hydra versus Marine Marauder Thor Battle Cruiser. Not gonna go well for ya, Caboose. And he is retreating, which is better than I can say for a lot of Into the Void players. A lot of Into the Void players will get in there and just sack everything in a futile attempt to win, even when it's clear they're losing. So retreating from a position that you're going to lose is something that pro players do every single game. It is not a sign of cowardice. It is not a sign that you're bad at the game. Retreating, it means you're good at the game. Did he just accidentally kill one of his Swarm Hosts right there? I kind of feel like that's what he just did. He A-moved and clicked on a Swarm Host and murdered it. Rest in peace, Swarm Host. Hey, look who's making Corruptors. Woo! Caboose is making Corruptors. You know what would be awesome is a Greater Spire. Like a Corruptor Broodlord army here would be kind of nuts. Although there are a couple Vikings. There's 1 Viking. And 2 Thors. Definitely Banelings. Honestly, I would just, with the money that you have here, you don't have a lot of gas because you just made a ton of Corruptors. But with the gas income that you have, you should be able to do this anyway. Just make like 40 Banelings, crush this Grand Army, then bring the Corruptors in and deal with everything else. That's what I would do. I'd just do Corruptor Baneling, wipe it out, make sure the 3rd base dies, expand behind it. He is expanding, and you'll beat your opponent through sheer economy. You don't even really have to get into this wall situation at all. That's how Zerg plays, is you kill outlying bases, you starve your opponent out, and then they will tap out on their own because they recognize that it is futile. Same goes with, honestly, every matchup. Terran does that against Zerg too. But, yeah, without splash damage here, I don't know. I mean, I really loved the Infestor play. The Fungal was great against those Marines early. It looks like he's kind of a little afraid to make any more of those, with 6 Infestors that he made all dying pretty horrible deaths there after getting effectively 1 Fungal off, maybe 2. Not ideal. So Caboose, he's working on Adrenal Glands for his Lings. He is getting a Greater Spire. Okay, so he's planning on going for Ultralisks. And again, watching professional StarCraft, Broodlord is a good unit. I think I called them Ultralisks. It's Broodlords, though. Other Tier 3s are units, what we're looking at here. Also, go ahead and saturate this new base of yours. You only have 67 workers. Anything from 75 to like 85 is going to be all right. It's going to be all right for you if you're into that kind of thing. Again, just coming in here with Lings and Corruptors is not enough. You need something else. Oh my gosh. The Swarm Host. Drop it. Swarm Host. There we go. Dropping them. Zerglings running to their deaths. Locusts trying to get some damage done, but there's too many Marines and too much damage output. So the Corruptors, once they're getting focused down by the Marines, maybe one of the BCs, 2 of the BCs go down. But everything else is dead here. The army supply is suddenly 75 to 30, and the Marines were a huge part of that. Again, Baneling. Baneling, good unit. Caboose. If your opponent has a ton of bio like this, Banelings are so stupidly good. So dumb good. Caboose hasn't saturated his 5th base. deFrag's 3rd is up. It's a planetary now. Talked about this about 10 minutes ago, but we got there. We got there eventually, didn't we? We certainly did. 15 roaches on the way. Now, Roberta said about roaches not being all that great. That is the case. They are not that great, especially if they don't have any upgrades like, you know, armor upgrades or attack upgrades. There are no evolution chambers. No evolution chambers for Caboose. That's an issue. You're definitely going to want upgrades here. You'll notice how there is +3 air weapons, +2 air and vehicle, +2 vehicle attack, +2 infantry attack, +1 infantry armor. deFrag is all over those upgrades. He understands the importance of upgrades. Caboose needs to work on understanding the importance of those upgrades. I like that there are more Corruptors. That's nice. And then maybe you're going to Broodlord them. Did I hear a Broodlord sound, or was that a generic hatching sound? Probably just a generic hatching sound. Happens sometimes. Alright, so Roach Corruptor. Again, your problem were the Marines. The Marines are good against pretty much everything Zerg have except for Banelings and Fungal from Infestors and Ultralisks. They're good against everything else that the Zerg has. The longer the game goes on, they get better at it. So, oh, interesting. Locust coming up here, hanging out, and expiring. You gotta actually attack move them where you want them to go before they'll do anything, but Army Supply 107 and 103. Caboose is remaxed fairly well, but on what composition? That is the question of the day. deFrag feels good about this. Caboose does not, and once again, very intelligently retreats. He's making 44 Zerglings. If he makes those all into Banelings, that will be it. That's what he needs. It's the secret key ingredient. Does he have time to do that sort of thing? I don't know. The Swarm Hosts are taking a bad path back home, and they just die instantly. And that makes Caboose get mad and get revenge on his Swarm Hosts, but the Lings are getting absolutely melted here. The Corruptors are doing their best against the Battle Cruisers, but the Marines are the gods. The Marines are winning this fight right now, and bam, Caboose loses another army here. Yes, fine, the Battle Cruisers are dead. deFrag also could have teleported those Battle Cruisers away if they wanted to. Dude, seriously though, 12 roaches in production. Caboose has another base. But it doesn't matter. Sometimes it doesn't matter how many bases you have. If your opponent has a giant army with better upgrades at your front door, your roaches are coming in and just getting absolutely massacred and handled by this. Yeah, the lesson today for Caboose has been, please, for the love of all that is holy, make Banelings. Just do it. Just do it. Good golly. And that's it. Caboose taps out. He knows when he's beat. And deFrag is your winner. What's kind of sad about this is I still feel like he had the resources to make about 40 Banelings. Drop them like right here or up here and then just go brrrr. And then you're alive. And then you're on more bases than your opponent. You're on more workers than your opponent. You can remax on other stuff. It's a bit of a premature GG, but I can understand the frustration of losing 2 armies to this weird composition of Marine, Marauder, Viking, Thor, Battlecruiser. But again, just Banelings wipe out everything on the ground here. Corruptors can handle these Battlecruisers just fine, and then Lings can roll in against the Thors later. That is the trick. That is the trick here. That is not what is executed, and deFrag gets the win. Nicely done, deFrag, I assume from New Zealand. I would like to recommend bringing SCVs to new bases to saturate them if your main is mined out, for example. These ones too could probably happen. A couple times there. I guess when you're attacking now would be a good time to expand. Your third is safe. That's nice. But expand again while you're attacking. But great job with the upgrades, deFrag, if you're watching. Fantastic upgrades. Not perfect, right? I'm going to say you can do more, but 3-2 and 3-3 with +2 vehicle weapons is a lot for a low-level player to do in 18 minutes. So nice job focusing on those. Much, much appreciated there. Yeah, I mean, Caboose honestly making Broodlords might have been better, although Thors do outrange Broods and focus on the Broodlords by default. So they're pretty good these days against the Broodlords. Need something to support them, and Zerglings can do that pretty effectively. Again, Banelings, Zerglings, Broodlords would be fine. Banelings, Zerglings, Corruptors would be great too, but unfortunately, Hydra, Roach, Zergling, Corruptor, not going to happen. Not enough splash damage. You want those Banelings. It's a core part of the Zerg army, and then you're going to have a better time. Yeah, a bit of a premature GG there, but, you know, kind of saw the writing on the wall. There were some things he could have done, but he wasn't quite sure what they were, and he tapped right on out. It happens, man. It happens to the best of us. Sometimes leaving games prematurely. I do it, even in our team games, out on twitch.tv/FalconPaladin. It happens. I cast StarCraft out there that I'm playing, which is a different experience to be sure. But anyway, that's going to be it for me today. This has been Falcon Paladin coming at you with yet another edition of StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void. Go ahead, hit that like button, hit that subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, and Twitch, all at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.
And so you must run, and it's taken your heart and broken your soul. You cannot go back until you're made whole. And you're running into the void. You go searching into the void to find a place you can live. Place you can love. Is it just an illusion? When push comes to shove, there's a light upon you, and you follow it on. Looking for a reason and a way to atone. All around you, the planets and stars. You're lost in a maelstrom of a great new unknown. And you're running into the void. You go searching into the void. Find a place you can live, a place you can love. Is it just an illusion? push comes to shove. And you're running into the void. You go searching into the void. And you're running into the